Good morning, and it's so nice to be with you all here. Your All-Holiness, Eminences, dear friends, I'm Harriet Schleifer, and I have the privilege of serving as President of the American Jewish Committee. I'm honored to open this ceremony with His All-Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, spiritual leader of 300 million Orthodox Christians, to receive the American Jewish Committee's Human Dignity Award. It is my pleasure to welcome our Orthodox Christian families and also the rabbis and AJC leaders who are here. And a big thank you to the members of our Executive Committee and Board of Governors, including its chair, Mr. Tony Meyer, sitting up front. Since our founding in 1906, we at AJC have understood that interreligious dialogue is essential in advancing the well-being of the Jewish people, indeed all peoples. AJC's concern for civil and religious rights for all is part of our agency's bedrock foundation. The rejection of anti-Semitism and all forms of hate is not only a necessity for all Jewish people, it is the responsibility of all in service of humanity. We know that our core commitments to defeat anti-Semitism in all its renascent forms and to support the state of Israel's quest for security and peace among the community of nations cannot happen without our interreligious partners. Patriarch Bartholomew, the Ecumenical Patriarch, and the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America have been our partners in these commitments, and for that we are grateful. As the child of Holocaust survivors, I particularly note that the Ecumenical Patriarch visited the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in October 1997 and described the Nazi attempt to destroy the Jewish people as an icon of evil, and heralded the museum as an icon of hope. During the same museum visit, His All-Holiness also said, "We respect the role of Israel as a guarantor of the Jewish people's existence." 50 years ago, as a leader of the new era in Christian-Jewish relations, AJC inaugurated the Orthodox Christian-Jewish relations with a historic outreach to the Archbishop of America right here in New York. AJC was a founding member of the formal dialogue between Orthodox Christian and Jewish leadership, which began in Lucerne, Switzerland in March 1977. AJC continues to play a primary role in that thriving dialogue under the leadership of Rabbi David Rosen from the Holy City of Jerusalem and Rabbi Noam Marans with us here today. That same spirit motivated AJC in the days after 9/11 to step forward and immediately contribute to the rebuilding of the Greek Orthodox St. Nicholas Church, which was destroyed during the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center when thousands perished. Tomorrow, on the 30th anniversary of His All-Holiness's enthronement as Ecumenical Patriarch at Ground Zero and in the shadow of the Freedom Tower, Patriarch Bartholomew will celebrate the formal opening of the doors of the new church and national shrine. It was a great honor for me to represent AJC and the Jewish people at that groundbreaking and ground blessing ceremony for the rebuilt church. What a joy to honor His All-Holiness, celebrate the remarkable 30 years as Ecumenical Patriarch, and reaffirm the special relationship of AJC with the Ecumenical Patriarch and our Orthodox Christian partners. But before I conclude and bring up Rabbi Noam Marans, who's AJC's Director of Interreligious and Intergroup Relations, I have a personal connection to the Greek people. My husband has spent the last 30 years working with his partner in business and science, whose name is George Yankopoulos. He is part of our family, and we are part of his family. And my husband has had the honor and privilege of working very closely with Dr. Roy Vagelos. So we have in our personal and professional lives a deep respect and love for the Greek people and the Greek Orthodox Church. Thank you.
Your All-Holiness, Eminences, dear friends, thank you, Harriet, for your leadership today and every day as we emerge from the darkness of the pandemic into the light of brighter days like this wonderful day. AJC CEO David Harris looked forward to being here for this award presentation to His All-Holiness, and only recently learned that he needed to be in Israel for meetings with the new Israeli government. David asked me to express his regrets and gratitude and warm congratulations to Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew on this festive award presentation occasion. It is my honor to introduce the Human Dignity Award, which AJC presents to His All-Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, an exemplar of religious leadership for people of all faiths. This AJC Human Dignity Award recognizes His All-Holiness's singular care for humanity and the environment, exceptional commitment to interreligious coexistence, and indispensable advancement of Orthodox-Jewish relations. As we honor His All-Holiness today, we also celebrate the special relationships that AJC and the Jewish people have developed with His Eminence Archbishop Elpidophoros of America and his predecessors at the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America, and with His Eminence Elder Metropolitan Emmanuel of Chalcedon, who has led the Ecumenical Patriarchs' dialogue with the Jewish people for decades. Their eminences, and most especially your eminence who is here with us today, you are dear colleagues and friends to me, to us, to the Jewish people. Literally, we would not be here today without your contributions. Thank you. Your All-Holiness, we at AJC have been the Ecumenical Patriarchate's partners not only in Orthodox Jewish relations, but also in assuring religious freedom for all, especially in Turkey, home to the Patriarchate, and throughout the Middle East, where Christianity was born and is now in many places threatened. We have joined the Patriarch in His All-Holiness's prophetic trailblazing in stewardship of our common home, the earth, as essential to our care for all of humanity. Long before the whole world was talking about the climate crisis, His All-Holiness was deservedly known as the Green Patriarch. The Patriarch's focus on Orthodox-Jewish relations has brought us to this momentous day. At the third dialogue held in Athens in 1993, Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew sent the following message to the assembled. He said, "This common spiritual origin of Christians and Jews seems today more than ever to offer a fruitful ground toward the rejection of the consequences of mutual prevailing hostility during the past and the establishment of a new relationship between them, genuine and authentic, rooted in the willingness to work toward mutual understanding and improved knowledge of each other. Your All-Holiness's mission statement then for our Orthodox Christian Jewish endeavors rings as true today as it did nearly 30 years ago. As a result of the Patriarch's leadership, we can celebrate those achievements and recommit to persist in our knowledge and understanding of one another. AJC has met with the Ecumenical Patriarch in many places, including in Rome just 1 month ago, Jerusalem, Washington, Thessaloniki, here in New York, and of course in Constantinople, Istanbul, home of the Ecumenical Patriarchate. We remember with gratitude our one particular visit at the Ecumenical Patriarchate in the wake of the horrific 2003 terrorist attacks upon synagogues in Istanbul, in which 25 died and scores were injured. An AJC solidarity mission traveled to be with the grieving Turkish Jewish community. Following our visit at the Patriarchate, His All-Holiness joined the AJC delegation at the reopened Neve Shalom, the central synagogue. At that moment of Jewish fragility, the Patriarch's presence strengthened our people, demonstrating interreligious solidarity in action. It was an act of compassion we will never forget. It is emblematic of the deep care for all humanity that His All-Holiness represents and why we honor the Patriarch this day. This AJC Human Dignity Award to be presented to Patriarch Bartholomew is an exact facsimile leaf of Genesis chapter 1 in the beautiful Ecumenical Bible, the lavishly illuminated Hebrew Bible that survived from medieval Spain during that great moment of tri-faith mutual flourishing in a golden age before the expulsion of the Jews in 1492. And as you have understood, the image appears on the front of your programs. Combining Jewish, Christian, and Islamic artistic motifs, the Bible captures the spirit of interreligious relations which His All-Holiness exemplifies and reminds us of our great responsibility in assuring interreligious comity. The opening of the Hebrew Bible framed here has been at the core of the Patriarch's commitment to human dignity, which the Jewish tradition calls kivod habriot, respect for God's creations, human beings created b'tselem Elohim, in God's image, and the earth, which humans are called le'ovda u'lishamra, to cultivate and protect. It's my pleasure to invite AJC's Chair of Interreligious Affairs, Bobi Baruch, to join Harriet and me in presenting AJC's Human Dignity Award to His All-Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew. Your All-Holiness, Harriet, Bobi, please join me.
Genesis 1, Kennecott Bible. American Jewish Committee, AJC Human Dignity Award, presented to His All-Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, November 1st, 2021.
Once again, good morning, everybody, dear friends, dear Harriet Schleifer, dear Rabbi Noam Marans, dear Bobi Baruch, dear friends of the American Jewish Committee, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege and an honor to receive from the hands of such esteemed friends this Human Dignity Award of the American Jewish Committee. Allow us to express our deepest gratitude for this expression of love and care, not only towards our humble person, but also towards what the Ecumenical Patriarchate stands for: dialogue, reconciliation, and the fight against religious extremism, hatred, and anti-Semitism. Reflecting on the title of today's award, Human Dignity, we are reminded of our common biblical understanding of what it means to be created in God's image and likeness. Our dignity as human beings depends on the sacredness of God's image in us. The book of Genesis reminds us of these words of creation: let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness. Genesis 1:26. As you know so well, both of our religious traditions have explored in depth the meaning of this expression. Commenting upon this passage, the great Midrash, also known as the Midrash Haggadah, offers a beautiful interpretation that God consulted his own heart, namely consulted himself while creating humankind. Thus, the Imago Dei becomes the seal of God's love for the entire world. The patristic tradition certainly built upon this hermeneutic. Our dignity as human beings is based on this divine imprint in each person as the most precious gift. Therefore, if this human dignity comes from our understanding of God's image within each of us, how much more should we embrace and care for our fellow human beings? We should be deeply inspired by a sense of the sacred that encompasses the entire creation. The seamless garment of God's creation places the human person at the nexus of the Creator's union with his creation. Divine and human meet in every being of this created world. The key to guaranteeing human dignity as the bedrock to human existence is freedom. It is our prayer to the Almighty God that all human beings may enjoy the fullest measure of freedom, as St. Paul reminds us, and use this freedom to serve one another through love. Letter to Galatians. We are convinced that these are principles that we share with our Jewish brothers and sisters in general and with the American Jewish Committee in particular. We would like to commend AJC President Harriet Schleifer, Mr. David Harris, Rabbi Noam Marans, and Rabbi David Rosen, an old friend of ours, for advancing interfaith cooperation and understanding, especially among the Jewish and Christian Orthodox traditions. Dear friends, in closing, let us reflect on the words of Martin Luther King, Jr. Darkness cannot drive away the darkness. Only the light can do that. Hate cannot extinguish hate. Only love can do that. to fight anti-Semitism, hatred, and discrimination of all kinds. We all need to be involved. The role of education and family is very important indeed, but religious communities also have a key role to play in eradicating racism, xenophobia, and anti-Semitism. In the midst of tragedy and challenges, God stands ready to rekindle every heart that is broken and to restore those who have suffered great harm. What the wise Solomon wrote remains true. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. True faith does not release human from responsibility for the world or the obligation both to respect human dignity and to struggle for justice and peace. On the contrary, it strengthens our commitment to action and magnifies our affirmation for freedom and human dignity. Thank you again for this honor today, for the honor of your fellowship and friendship. God bless you. Replica of the gold medal I received from the American Congress in 1997.
Thank you. Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, we have honored your All-Holiness with AJC's Human Dignity Award today, but it is the Patriarch who has honored us by elevating Orthodox-Jewish relations. The Patriarch's warm relationships with AJC and the Jewish people, characterized by mutual respect and esteem, are palpable here today. Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, may God continue to bless your All-Holiness's leadership. May this visit to the U.S. continue to inspire, and may the Patriarch be given the strength to lead the faithful and model leadership for us all for many years to come. Thank you, Your Excellency, and thank you all for being here today.
We would be pleased to send a complimentary DVD of this program to anyone who wishes to support JBS with a tax-deductible gift of $36, double chai, or more. Simply visit the JBS website at jbstv.org and click on the Donate button to make a donation by PayPal or your credit card. And please indicate the program for which you would like a DVD. Or you can send your tax-deductible check to JBS, Post Office Box 360, Stamford, Connecticut 06904. Or you can call the JBS Pledge Line at 833-MY-JBS-TV. That's 833-695-2788. And again, please remember to indicate which program you would like to receive with our compliments. We thank you for your kind support.